I'm Melody and I'm really excited for today because we're gonna make apple pie. Another thing I love to do is baking, so I thought I would find a Pinterest recipe and I would make some apple pie. Rosie, are you excited? Are you excited? We're gonna make apple pie? The first thing we're gonna do is make the crust. I'm gonna have the links for the recipe that I'm using in the description box, so if you wanna click on that and follow along with me, or if you just wanna make this on your own time, go for it. So I've got my handy dandy food processor here, and this is actually gonna be the first time I've ever used one of these, so let's hope I don't break anything. First thing it says to do for the crust is to put in 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So here we go. Okay. Then I'm taking a teaspoon of sugar and putting that in there as well. So now that I've put the sugar and the flour in here, we're going to pulse it. And I'm guessing that's what this P means down here. So here we go. Don't forget the lid. So in total for the crust, we have 1½ sticks of butter. So it says to add about half of the butter and pulse it, then add the rest of the butter and pulse it until the mixture turns into coarse crumbs. All right, let's pulse it up. Now we're gonna add the rest of the butter in. So now through the feed tube, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of ice water. We're gonna put this in until it gathers into a ball. So now I'm gonna take all the dough from the food processor and put it onto some plastic wrap. I just got a little flour on my hands because the dough does seem kind of sticky. We're gonna flour the plastic wrap, then put the dough on it and flatten it out into like a disc shape, then put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. So I flattened it out and now we're gonna put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Let's go. Yikes, Rosie. So now I'm taking 7 to 8 apples. This one says Granny Smith, but I didn't have Granny Smith, so I'm using the kind I had. So now I'm going to peel, slice, and core them. So let's get started. Oh. Okay. Got it. So I have my handy dandy rolling pin and we're gonna roll out the dough. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so the recipe calls for 1 stick of butter. Buddy. So now I'm gonna take 1 stick of butter in the medium saucepan and melt the butter over medium heat. Okay, let's put that butter in there. That looks melted. So now I'm gonna add the 3 tablespoons of flour in there and mix well, forming a paste. I love a good paste. It's pretty pasty. So now we're adding a 1/4 cup of water. We're adding a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. We're adding 1 heaping teaspoon of cinnamon. Going so fast. Okay, then 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of white sugar. Now we mix. Then bring to a boil for 1 minute. Then reduce heat to a simmer for an additional minute. So let that boil up for a good minute. This looks kind of like when you like boil Coke, except not as dark. Reducing heat. Okay, so it's been about a minute. So it says remove from heat and reserve about a 1/3 cup of filling for pie crust. Then add the remaining filling to the apples. I'm gonna put just a little bit of flour in this bowl that I'm using. Instead of like flatten it out, like roll it out, that wasn't working for me. So we're just gonna set this in here and flatten it out in the bowl here. And me being the great baker I am, didn't like read the directions correctly. You're supposed to make 2 batches of like the crust dough, and she said 1 if you like roll it out thin. And I only made 1, so this is gonna be thin. So if you want your pie to be a thickie, make 2 batches. You know what? Just follow what she says in the link. Hi guys, welcome back. So now I'm gonna dump all my apples in here. Looks like I need some more crust around the edges. So I've rolled out the rest of my dough, and now I'm going to cut strips with this handy dandy baby pizza cutter for the lettuce to go on top. Oh, yikes.
Okay, I've got a fun fact for you. So apparently the Guinness Book of Records holds the record for being the book most often stolen from public libraries. I read that and I thought I should share it with you. I thought it was really interesting, and I hope you think it's interesting too. Alright, well, let's watch me put lettuce onto a pie now. Now please enjoy me singing one of my favorite songs. God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from love. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, right to fall. Wow, I'm really talented. Okay, so I noticed I didn't really say anything during this part, but right here I'm taking the leftover crust dough from the lattice part, and I'm rolling that into like snake shapes, then pressing it around the edges because I wanted to make it look fancy like pies do, where they have like the cool squiggly looking thing on the like the edge of the crust. So I made that. So here's me doing that. So after I laid it around the top of the pot, pan, what is this? The dish. So after I laid the leftover dough around the dish, I sort of took my finger and like pressed in, like made imprints with my finger around the thing to make it look like the squiggly line that you see in all the fancy pictures of pies. Here's what I'm talking about if you did not understand a thing I said.
Okay, so that took way too long, but we finally did it. It said to put like the rest of the filling on top, but then that messed It said to put the rest of the filling on top of the lattice, but then that messed it up, so I put some more lattice on top. And now I'm not going to touch it. So let's bake it and hope for the best.
So here she is. Wow. That just... It's like bubbling a little bit, or it was for a second. Overall, she's good.
So why'd you use a casserole dish?
Because it's the closest thing we have.
Hey, whoa, dang,
That's what I've been saying. So I took the pie out of the oven and found a knife, and now we're gonna cut the pie up and see if it tastes any good. Well, it was a good try. Okay. Perfect slice. Well, crust looks pretty crusty. I mean, it tastes like apple pie, so I guess that's pretty good.
Did you do all that crap by yourself?
Yes, and it took way too long. And I made the crust from scratch, and it did
No,
not
you
work.
really be doing the most.
It's working, Melanie. You keep on doing me, buddy.
So I think what we really learned from this.
Rosie, no.
Y'all please shut up for just a little bit.
Can I have a bite of your pie now?
Let me finish. So I think what I've learned from this whole experience is I'm never doing this again. The past 5.5 hours have really taught me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Maybe.
Maybe.